श्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं यं गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञाभक्तिविनीतयः दीप्तिश्चातुर्ता नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। 33 श्रोत्रादीन्द्रियसञ्चयं स भगवान् शब्दादि बाह्यार्थगम् चक्रे यत्तदसौ पुमान् बहिरिमान् भुङ्क्ते स्वकैरिन्द्रियैः। धीरः कोऽपि यतीन्द्रियोऽनुभवति स्वं प्रत्यगात्मानमत्राप्तुं मोक्षमुचन्न धीरहृदयः कामी तु मृत्योर्वशः। लोको येन समीक्षते ध्वनिरसः स्पर्शांश्च दुःखं सुखं रूपं गन्धगुणं च जाग्रति तथा स्वप्ने सुषुप्तावपि। अज्ञानं हृदयेन्द्रियाद्यविदितं यस्यास्ति नो किञ्चन ज्ञात्वा स्यात्ममहेश्वरं मधुभुजं धीरो न शोचत्यमुम्। अभ्यो यः प्रथमं महानुदभवत् सर्वेश्वराद् ब्रह्मणः भूतैः साकमिह प्रविश्य हृदयाकाशं च यस्तिष्ठति। यः प्राणोदिति नामकोऽर्थगिलनात् यः सर्वदेवात्मकः पुरुषः यो ब्रह्म जानाति सः। योरन्योर्निहितोऽग्निरात्मनि महायोगैर्भृतो गर्भवत् नारीभिर्जठरेह्यहन्यः स्तुत्यो बुधैः कर्मभिः।
जाग्रद्भिराश्रयैः स्वहृदये यज्ञे च स ब्रह्म तत्
भानोर्जन्मलयो यतो यतैमे देवास्तदत्येति कः। यो ब्रह्मादितृणान्तदेहनिहितः नानाघटस्थाभ्रवत् जीवोऽयं निरुपाधिकामनसुखज्ञानस्वरूपं बृहत्। यो विद्यातिमिरप्रदूषितदृशः नानेह पश्यत्यपि ब्रह्मण्येष समृत्युमञ्चति पुनः मृत्योर्जन्म च। We read the next one also, right?
Yes.
Okay, read. आचार्यागमसंस्कृतेन मनसैवाप्तव्यमेतद्बृहत् द्वैतं नास्त्यपि किञ्चिदत्र हि ततः भेदं न पश्येन्मनाक्। देहान्तरहृदयाब्जगेन मनसा योऽङ्गुष्ठमात्रः पुमान् आस्ते सर्वमहेश्वरस्तममुकम् ब्रह्मैत्यविद्यते Brahmaitya Vijño Bhayaha. So we are supposed to look at the commentary of 38, correct? Before that, let me clarify something. In the previous class, we discussed 37. In the third quarter of verse 37, we have the usage Yo Vidyatimira Pradushita Drishaha Naneha Pashyatyapi Brahmanyesha. So here a clarification was sought. At the end of the class, so Justice, I don't know whether he is here today. So this, he was asking, how would we have the usage Drishaha Pashyati? Drishaha Pashyati, his question is perfectly valid. Drik Drishau Drishaha. Suppose you take this form. Then Drishaha seems to be plural. So plural cannot be tagged with Pashyati, which is singular. So this was the question. Drik Drishau Drishaha. Suppose you take. Pradushita Drik. Suppose you form the compound like this. Pradushita Drik Yasya. Pradushita Drik. One whose vision is blood, is tainted. By what? Avidya timira pradushita drishaha pashyati. So the suggestion was, we could think of making drisho as drisha. That was the suggestion. So that seems to be fine. In fact, I myself was thinking about that when I just went through this verse just before the class in the previous day. Yo vidyatimira pradushita drishaha naneha pashyati. So drisha, when you say, it will become hetau tritiya. Because of the vision blurred by avidya, so one can easily connect with drisha pashyati. This was a possible suggestion which was given. I also thought about it, but then I felt that even in the commentary there seems to be a description which does not fit with drisha. So if you look at page 34, the first line, Avidya timira pradushita drishaha. So there also it is Visarga very clearly stated, drishaha, and then he further explains this. So now we have to make the drishaha into a singular. There is no other option, right? Pradushita drishaha. Avidya Timireneva, see, avidya timireneva pradushita desha buddhi chakshuriva yasya. This is how Ramaraja comments that. How do we make this? He has given the hint in the commentary. He says, Drisha buddhihi chakshuhu iva. Chakshuhu iva yasya. So Drisha is to be taken as a Strilinga Shabda. How do we take Drisha? So how do we take that Drisha as a Strilinga Shabda? So there is a certain rule which I remember to have quoted some time back, but once again I will repeat that. There was a person called Bhaguri. This Bhaguri nicely lists a few things which he has seen to be used, and therefore he gives a certain prescription. I will first give the verse. I don't know whether I did it in one of the earlier classes. In any case, so you just take it. So you first repeat the verse which I say, then I will explain that. Vashtibhagurirallopam. 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 Avapyorupasargayoho. 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 Apanchaiva halantanam. Apanchaiva halantanam. Apanchaiva halantanam. Yatha vacha disha nisha.
Yatha vacha disha nisha.
Yatha vacha disha nisha. This is good to know. Vashti bhagurihi allopam vashti. So he says, allopam. Allopa means sarasvakarasya lopaha. At. Vashti bhagurir allopam. Kutra avapyor upasargayoho. When we have, in certain cases, when ava and apa happens to be the upasarga. Avapyor upasargayo. Okay. So this a gets stopped. So for instance, we have avadhanam. So sometimes they say vadhanam. Apidhanam, they say pidhanam. Okay. So this a gets dropped. So that is not of relevance to us now, the first half. The later half of the verse, Apanchaiva halantanam yatha vacha disha nisha. He says, we have the word dik. Dik is same as disha. Similarly, vak is same as vacha. If you take vak shabda, vacha will be tritiya. But he found a few usages wherein vacha, vache, vacha, you can say. Okay. So that is how we have to understand this. So if it is Strilinga Shabda and it is halanta, then you can fix the stop. Thereby, vak will become vacha. Similarly, this will become disha. So here, in this case, we have drik. This drik will become that's all. See, drisha. That is how the word gets formed. So drisha is same as drik or drishti. Now you have to get this bahuvrihi compound. So then it will become, it is a bahuvrihi compound of avidya timira pradushita drisha yasya saha. Okay. Avidya timira pradushita drisha. Okay. So that is how we have to understand the formation of this compound. So Ramaraya perhaps wanted us to remember this. Okay, that is why he has used this. That is how we have to understand this. Avidyatimira pradushita drisha yasya saha avidyatimira pradushita drishaha pashyati. Okay, so then this usage can be understood. Okay, having explained this, let me move on to the next one. See, in fact, suppose you want to give some puzzle. So these are certain things which will be used by the people who do this avadhana. So they have to have this kind of tricks. Okay, because you may ask to compose something in a particular meter which may not fit. Therefore, instead of using drishti, you may have to use. So these are various things which you have to learn. Similarly, pidhanam, apidhanam. So here, suppose, see, so his words will be listened to, taken seriously, suppose you want to say. So if he says something, this will happen. Means, how will you say? Etesham vak tatra prasarati. You can say. So this person's words will be taken seriously. Something like that you can say. Instead of saying vak prasarati, you can also say etesham vacha tatra prasarati. Understand? Vak and vacha, they are used in the same sense. It may be tricky for people to understand, but it is an acceptable usage. Okay. So since if you want to fit something, so vak will be only one syllable, no? Suppose you have to have two syllables. Then what will you do? Vacha. That is how it is. Dik will be one syllable. You can say disha. Drik is one syllable. So drisha will be two syllables. So the first one will become short. The second one will become long. Okay. So with this, let me move on to verse 38. So verse 38, we saw the meaning roughly. So we will get into the commentary. Verse 38, as I was mentioning, it is basically the summary of two mantras, 11 and 12. Okay? 11 and 12 of the fourth value. Acharyagama samskritena manasai vaptavyametad brihat dvaitam nastyapi kinchidatra hitataha bhedam na pashyen manak dehantar hridayabjagena manasa yungushthamatrah puman aste sarvamaheshwaraha tamukam brahmaitya vignyo bhayaha abhayaha bhavati. In fact, this word abhaya is used by Yajnavalkya when he was addressing Janaka. He says, Abhayam vai Janaka praptosi. Once you understand, there is no question of any bhaya. In fact, the other day, I remember, this Shelgigar was mentioning, see, why are people afraid of this COVID? Yadagachati tadagachati. Abhayam vai Janaka praptosi. So this abhaya prapti means you don't really worry. You don't really worry about things. Abhayam praptosi. So that is a remarkable state of mind. See, fearless mind. Abhayam praptosi. So that is possible. Brahmaitya. Brahmaitya means avagamya. Brahma iti avagamya. Kaha Brahma? Kim Brahma? Ayamatma Brahma ityavagamya. Ayamatma Brahma ityavagamya. Vignyo bhayaha. Ayamatma Brahma iti avagamaha eva vishishtam jnanam. He is described as Vijnaha. Visheshato janatiti Vijnaha. See, Samanyataha Parichhinnatvena janati. He understands himself to be limited person. So here you understand this core, Atman, to be unlimited entity. So Trividha Parichheda Shunyatvena Yaha janati Saha Vijnaha. Vijnaha bhayaha naste sarvamaheshwarastamamukam brahmaitya vignyo bhayaha. So let us read the commentary. Atindriyasya asya darshane kim karanam ata aha achargyeti. Atindriyasya asya darshane. Atindriyaha kaha? Indriya agocharaha means swatasphurana. Okay? Indriya asahakrita sphurana. So I am Atma. Atindriyasya asya darshane kim karanam. So senses does not play a role. Therefore he is saying acharya agama samskritena manasa. How do we understand this nature of Atman? Acharya agama samskritena manasa. The mind which has been refined through the interaction with Acharya. So the interaction with Acharya and the kind of knowledge that has been shared by Acharya. Through interaction, we will learn certain things. Through the lessons that he teaches, we will learn certain things. And therefore, he is saying, Acharyagama samskritena manasa. Acharyena samskritam manaha. How? So his acts itself teaches us a lesson. So therefore, manaha samskritam bhavati. Defined. So acharyena samskritam, agamena samskritam, acharyat prapta agamena samskritam. So different ways in which you can understand this compound. Acharyagama samskritena manasa. We explained that in the previous class. Now he says, Yetat pratyagabhinnam brihat brahma acharyagama samskritena gurushastra samskritena manasaiva aptavyam. Manasaiva aptavyam means only that mind, only that refined mind will be able to understand the nature of the self. Gurushastra samskritena manasaiva aptavyam jnatavyam natu karanantaraihi. Natu karanantaraihi means there is no other means. In fact, there is a long discussion which is undertaken by Appaya Dikshita at the beginning of his text Siddhanta Lesha Sangraha. So there, this Tavya Pratyaya, Atma Vare Drashtavya Shrotavyo Mantavyo Nididhyasitavyaha. In that context, there is a long discussion which goes on. One of the discussions is this. So should one simply take up a text and then read by himself? Or should one go to a teacher and then learn it in the Sampradaya? So there it is said, it is only the later one which will work. And therefore, he is saying, Jnatavyam natu karanantaraihi. There you have to put a danda. See, there is a typo in the text. Natu karanantaraihi. You should put a full stop. Then there is a full stop after two words that should be removed. See? Tacha abhedenaiva drashtavyam tatra bheda bhavadityaha dvaitamiti. That dvaitam should be actually made bold because it is a pratika. Dvaitamiti. Tacha abhedenaiva drashtavyam tatra bheda bhavadityaha. So there is no bheda between Pratyakatma and Brahman. And therefore, this unity between the Chaitanyam here and the Chaitanyam that is being stated in the Shrutis as the Jagat Karana Vastu, they are one and the same. Abhedenaiva drashtavyam tatra bheda bhavadityaha dvaitamiti. See, one can think of the simple example. So you just think of kitchen. Okay? And there is a big stove, bigger stove. So it just has a huge flame. And you have some mini stove that also has some sort of a flame. Now the vastu that feeds in is the same gas. It is a nozzle which actually makes the difference, right? So gas is same. So tat katham jvalati upadhi bheda prakarantarena bhati. Similarly, you can think of motor. The same electricity comes, right? Same electricity feeds this bulb and that bulb. Upadhi bhedat. That is what we have to understand. Vastutaha bheda bhavaha. So the power behind, there is no difference. So similarly, this Chaitanyam is one and the same. It is the Sharira which differs. Okay. Tacha bhedeneva drashtavyam tatra bheda bhavat ityaha dvaitamiti dvaitam nastyavi kinchidatrahi hi yasmat atra brahmani kinchidapi dvaitam nasti. Brahmani kinchidapi dvaitam nasti means that satswarupe bhedaha nasti, chitswarupe bhedaha nasti, anandarupe cha bhedaha nasti. So there is no difference. So that is Sat, this is Sat, that is Sat, this is Sat. So that is what we need to understand. Yasmat brahmani kinchidapi dvaitam nasti. Tat managapi bhedan na pashyet. Tataha. Therefore, managapi bhedam na pashyet. You should try to leave the bheda buddhi. Managapi bhedam na pashyet. Tacha. And that has to be understood. Hridyeva drashtavyam. Hridyeva drashtavyam. This kind of absence of the difference is to be understood internally. Hridyeva drashtavyam na bahihi ityaha dehantariti. This vastu, where do I understand? This aham pratyaya at most is confined to body. It cannot extend beyond this domain. Right? And therefore he says, this Atma Vastu, if you just think of some Sukshma entity which is there, and this is a standard phrase that you will find in the Upanishads. Hridyeva drashtavyam. Okay? So inside, Dehantaha. Yaha Dehantaha Dehamadhye Hridayabjagena. So the Anta is sometimes used to refer to Madhya. Okay? So Saha Vanante Sancharati means, it doesn't mean that he is at the end of the forest. Vanamadhye, Vanante. So Dehantaha. Yaha Dehantaha Dehamadhye. That is why he is commenting that. Hridayabjagena. How do we understand this compound? Hridayabjam Hritpundarikam Tad Tadgena means Tadgatena. That is how we have to understand this phrase. Then he says, Manasa Antahkarana Upadhina Angushthamatraha. We find this description in the Upanishad. What description? Angushthamatrah Purushontaratma Sadajananam Hridaye Sannivishtaha. This occurs in many places in the Upanishad. Okay? Angushthamatrah Purushaha Sadajananam Hridaye Sannivishtaha. So this is one usage. In yet another place we find, see, here Angushthamatrah Purushaha Madhya Atmani Tishtati Ishanam Bhuta Bhavyasya Natato Vijagupsate. So the word iti has to be supplied here. Angushthamatrah Purushaha Madhyatmani Tishtati Yaha Saha Ishanam Bhutabhavyasya Iti Yaha Avagachati Saha Natato Vidugupsate. Okay? So he does not have any fear anymore. Okay? So this is how the mantra states. Since we have the mantra mentioning the dimension Angushthamatraha, he also uses this. Angushthamatrah Puman. So this Aham Pratyaya Vishaya means the object which is referred to by the notion of I. Okay, that Aham Pratyayasya Vishaya. So that object, so it is to be understood. It is a metaphorical usage. Okay. So Angushthamatraha Puman Aste. And Saha Katham Aste. That we have to understand. He says, Hridaya Pundarikasya Angushta Parimitattvan Manushya Dehasthasya Bhavaha. So there are some interesting discussion. Why is he described as Angushtamatra? Will it be true? Suppose you ask this question, this Chaitanyam, understand? This Chaitanyam, so in ant, it is there or not? The mosquito which comes and sits, it is there or not? If it is there, where is the Angushtamatra? You will ask, no? Understand? This question, Angushtamatra, suppose you say, the Angushtamatratvam, that is why he is using Ramaraya. Hridaya Pundarikasya Angushta Parimitattvan Manushya Dehastha. Understand? So this is something which is being shared by Manushya. So with reference to this size, so this is the description. So it does not mean that he has real parimana like this. So that is the point. Hridaya Pundarikasya Angushta Parimitattvat. Okay. So that particular organ, so wherein it is recognized by us. Okay, it is recognized by us. Parimitattvat manushya dehasthasya idi bhavaha saha puman purushaha sarvamaheshwara san aste. This is what we have to understand. So Angushthamatrah Purushaha Madhya Atmaniyaha Tishtati Saha Kidrishaha Aste. So if you really fix this dimension, then this is not going to really work out. Therefore, you have to leave this. So because it is recognized in Hridaya, so you just specify the dimension of Hridaya. Actually, Ishanam Bhutabhavyasya. Ishanam Bhutabhavyasya. Bhutabhavyasya Ishanam. Bhutabhavyasya Ishanam. Ishanam Bhutabhavyasya Natato Vijugupsate. So this is once again repeated in the next verse. Okay. So here Ramaraya simply says Ishanam. Okay. So the same phrase will be repeated in the next mantra also. And he has taken this Bhuta Bhavya to the explanation in the next verse. So here he simply presents one aspect. Sarvamaheshwara san aste. So I am Pumanu. So this entity, once this Upadhi is dropped, so he is essentially the Chaitanya, which is controlling all the motions. Okay. Bhuta Bhavyasya aste. Arthat Hridayabje. So here there are two possibilities. One can take it as Ityevam or Ityeva. Okay. Both possibilities are there. So Arthat Hridayabje Ityeva. Ityeva means so only this particular way.
Yeah.
Ityeva. You can even put a danda there. So if you want to. Otherwise, you can take Arthat Hridayabje Ityevam Vijnaha. Okay. Vijñahatam. See, Vijñaha means Visheshato Janati. Kasam Visheshato Janati? Ayam Angushthamatratvena yaha avagamyate saha vastutaha ishanaha sarveshwaraha iti yaha Visheshato Janati saha Vijñaha tam amukam amum jivameva brahma yetye viditva abhayaha bhayarahito bhavati. Saha bhayarahito bhavati. So this is how the mantra is to be understood. Now let me teach you this verse. This is a very interesting thing. Okay? This this mantra has been commented by Acharya. If you go to mantra 11 now in the Upanishad, Bhagavad Pada's commentary. There is a short commentary, but it is something which is worth reading. So he says, Prag ekatta vijnanat acharyagama samskritena manasaiva idam brahmaikarasam. Mantra 11. Manasaiva idam aptavyam nehanana asti kinchana. For that, the commentary commences like this. Prag ekatta vijnanat. Prag ekatta vijnanat means before having this ekatta vijnanam idam sarvam yadayamatma. Vijnanat prak. Okay. Prag ekatta vijnanat acharya agama samskritena manasaiva idam brahmaikarasam aptavyam atmaiva nanyadastiti. Aptecha. Once you have this, so the point is, before you gain this jnana, this vision of seeing one entity residing in every being, before you get this, the only option that is available for you is this. Aptecha means when you have got it, then nanatva pratyapasthapikayaha avidyayaha nivrittatvat iha brahmani nanasti. Understand? See, this is a very interesting thing. The point is, when the Shruti does the Nishedha, nananasti. Nananasti means you are sitting in front of me. If you are not sitting, will I teach you? So obviously there is a Advaita Vijnana. So Nana Nasti, suppose you do this Pratishedha. When is this Pratishedha applicable? How is to be understood? So there are two aspects to it. One is Manasaiva idam aptavyam. So actually there is something, and therefore I am teaching. There is a Shastra. So this Shastra, that Shastra, I make these distinctions. Then I do this. So here, Ekatta Vijnanat Prak. So you have to choose this Shastra and you have to go to Acharya. All this Bheda Buddhi will always be there. So when this dawns upon, then the Bheda goes as if. Okay. So Aptetu Nanatva Pratyupasthapikayaha Avidyayaha Nivrittatvat. What is responsible for this Nanatva Pratyupasthanam? It is the Bheda Buddhi. It is the Bheda Buddhi. We look at the external agent, we don't look at the Chaitanya. So later we will look at the Chaitanya and the external agent will go off. So therefore he is saying, Aptecha Nanatva Pratyupasthapikayaha Avidyayaha Nivrittatvat Iha Brahmani Nanasti. Kinchidapi Anumatramapi. Then he says, Yastu Punaha avidyadimira drishtihi. Suppose you go to this jewelry shop. I'll tell you, when you are going to give something back to him, you are putting the old thing and you are going to get the new thing. As far as he is concerned, he doesn't care. See, whether it is a ring, whether it is a earring, whether it is a nostril, whether it is a chain. Okay. So he only looks at the gold, how much of grams it is there, so how much I have to give you. Doesn't matter what form it is. Understand? So that is the kind of thing that it is talking. Aptecha nanatva pratyupasthapikayaha avidyayaha nivrittatvat iha brahmani nananasti kinchit anumatramapi. Then he says, yastu punaha avidyadimira drishtim namunchati. The one who does not live. See, this is something which is again very beautifully brought out. This verse is, I am just reminded. So he was saying, no, acharyagama samskritena. Right? So there we have a very beautiful verse in Narayaniyam. See what it does. See. Acharyakya dharastharani samanumilat shishyarupottararanyavedhod bhasitena phutadara paribodhagnina dahyamane. Karmali vasana tatkritanubhuvana bhranti kantara pure dahya bhavena vidya shikhinicha virate tvanmayi khalvavastha. You repeat. Acharyakhyadharastharani 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 Samanumilat Shishyarupottararanī avedhodbhasitena Sputatara paribodhagnina Sputatara paribodhagnina Sputatara paribodhagnina Dahyamane Karmali vasana Tatkrita Tanubhuvana Bhranti Kantara Pure Dahya bhavena vidya shikhinicha virate tvanmayi khalvavastha He says, Acharyakya Adhararani. Adhara Arani. Of the two woods, the Acharya is the Adhararani, the solid block. So Shishyarupa Uttararani. Okay, so the Shishya comes and sits. See, if you look at this yagas, these people they do even today. So this is like this, so you can take it. See, this is like the bottom. So this will be the Uttarani. It will sit trying, they will start churning. Okay. Acharyakha Adhararani. This fellow has to be stable. Otherwise these people will start confusing him. So Acharyakhya-dhararani, Acharyakhya-dhararani, Shishyarupottararanyavedha. Avedha is basically here the churning. Okay? So that is what he is saying. Acharya Agama Samskritam. Okay? There are various thoughts which will be there in the mind of the student. So based on his own experiences. So then when the Acharya says something, so those thoughts will surface up. So they will be trashed out, some of them. So that is what he means by saying Avedha. So there is a churning which takes place. Avedha. As a result of this Avedha, what emerges out is the fire of knowledge. So there in the wood, so the fire emerges out. Okay. So here in the form of refined jnana, it comes out. And this refined jnana refines the earlier, see, mala, you understand? So which is already there in the buddhi. Acharyakhya-dharastharani samanu milachishya rupottararanyavedhodbhasitena sphutatara paribodhagnina dahyamane. This Sphutatara paribodhagni. Paribodha is jnana. Okay. Paribodha agni arises. And what does this agni do? This agni finishes. That is given in the third quarter. Paribodhagnina dahyamane. So it is a satisaptam. When this is being burnt. See, what is being burnt? He says, Karmali vasana tatkritatanu bhuvana bhranti kantara pure. This is a very, very beautiful phrase. This Bhattatri has said. See, every individual performs a variety of actions and each of these actions leaves a certain impression upon him. And it is the impression which is left upon him that is referred to as vasana. So suppose you take the box in which asafoetida is kept. So asafoetida, whatever you do, that will have that gandha. So you have to just dispose it off or keep using it for the same purpose. Understand? That is what is vasana. So there are certain samskaras which are created in the buddhi. So karmali, and this vasana is generated by a series of actions. So that series of actions is referred to by the word karmali. Ali, alihi means row. Avalihi, both are referred to alihi, avalihi. So karmali, vasana, and all the other things that come to your mind. So you see a certain event, it generates a certain jnana in you. All that is based on this vasana. Karmali, vasana, tatkrita. That karma and vasana, they generate tanubhuvana. The sharira is acquired by karma. And the universe that is created by you in front of you is due to vasana. So this is something which I have to get. Somebody feels. This is something which I have to avoid. Somebody feels. What? This bhuvana is created by this vasana. Understand? This bhuvana, this universe of likes, dislikes. See, the universe of this is going to be useful, this is not going to be useful. See, all these notions, as well as the padarthas, how you view the padartha. Okay, whether it is swapna prapancha or jagrat prapancha. See, karmali, vasana, tatkrita tanubhuvana, and there are various kinds of bhrantis. So this jagat, when you say, it includes all of them. Your tanu, the other's tanu. Okay? Your bhavana, the others bhavana. Tanubhuvana bhranti. This is like a forest. Kantara. Kantara means forest. And the entire forest is burnt by this fire. Understand? So this Tanubhuvana bhranti Kantara pure dahyamani. You have to connect to the previous quarter. Dahyamani Tanubhuvana bhranti Kantara pure. Entire forest is burnt. What is there for the fire to burn? Oh, there is nothing. Right? So this Dahya means fire. This fire which was burning the forest, that also subsides. Dahya bhavena. So that is what is referred by Acharya in his Bhashya. Suppose you see the Bhashya, he says, Apte cha Nanatva pratyupasthabikayaha avidyayaha nivrittatvat iha brahmani nana kinchana nasti. Understand? So this vidya is also gone. That is why he says, na shastra, na shastram, na shishyo, na shiksha, na chatvam, na chaham, na chayam prapanchaha. Swarupavabodho vikalpa sahishnuhu tadeko vasishthasya kevalo. This happens through the churning process. Avidyayaha nivrittatvat iha brahmani nana kinchana nasti. That is what he is saying. Dahyaha bhavena vidya shikhini cha virate. Shikhi means fire here. Vidya shikhi, the fire of knowledge. So this also Shastra Vasana is also gone. Vidya shikhini cha virate. Ultimately, tvanmayi khalvavastha. So this is what is actually meant here by the phrase Acharya Agama Samskritena Manasa. And then once you get this, so this jnana, so and all the vasanas will go. So then Nana Kinchana Nasti. So that is the thing. Yastu punaha avidyatimira drishtim namunchati. On the other hand, the one who is unable to drop this, avidyatimira drishtim namunchati iha brahmani naneva pashyati saha mrityoho mrityung gacchati. So one after the other, he will pass on from janma to janma. Gacchatyeva swalpamapi bhedam adhyaropayan ityartha. Okay. Swalpamapi bhedam adhyaropayan. In the next mantra, Angushthamatrah Purushaha Madhya Atmani Tishtati Ishanam Bhuta Bhavyasya Natato Vijagupsate Etadvaitat. So then once again he says, Punarapi. Punarapi. See, the point here is, there could be a doubt. This is how one has to understand the connection between the two. The previous mantra says, so ayamat manasi vedamaptavyam nehana nasti kinchana. But I understand myself to be a limited person. So this angushta matratvam is just a certain phrase that has been employed to refer to the notion that you maintain about yourself. So therefore he is saying angushta matra purushaha madhya atmani vartate ivayaha. Okay, the one whom you recognize to be so, right? Ishanam bhuta bhavyasya. So here the mantra's bhashya goes like this. Punarapi tadeva prakritam brahma aha. So tadeva prakritam brahma aha. Kathamaha angushta matraha means angushta parimanaha. So here matra refers to parimana. Understand? So in Nyaya Shastra you will say differently. Chakshur tanmatra means, so So taditara agrahyatve is tadgrahyatvam, tanmatra grahyatvam. Tanmatra is different. Okay, here matra is parimana. Angushta parimanaha. Angushta parimanam hridaya pundarikam tachhidravartyantah karanopathihi angushta matraha. Angushta matra vamsha parva madhyavartyam baravat. This is just a example. See, Angushtamatra Vamsha Parva Madhyavat Anguravat. Ambaravat. There is a, see, in Hridaya, they will say, we have certain Adhikaranas in Brahma Sutra also. Dharakasha is what they will say. Okay. So it is a Hridaya Kasha. So he is just describing. So whatever the mantra says, more graphically. Hridaya Pundarikam. Pundarika is lotus kind of it. So Hridaya Pundarikam, see, Tachhidra Antarvartyantah Karanopathihi. Tachhidra. See, Antarvartyantah Karanopathihi. Okay. So this Antahkarana, so means a certain instrument which is not seen by you but which plays a very crucial role in every cognition that you get. Okay, Karanam is an instrument. Kasya Karanam? Jnana Karanam. I am idam manaha Jnana Karanam. So Kutra Vartate, Antaha Vartate. Antaha Kutra, so he has considered the most important place. So Hridaya Pundarika. So he is saying Hridaya Pundarikam Tachhidra Varti Antahkaranopathihi Angushthamatraha. Antahkaranopathihi means Antahkaranam Upathihi Yasya. Okay. So the one who has Antahkarana as Upadhi. Okay. So Antahkarana. Because it has Antahkarana as Upadhi, the Upadhigata Dharma atra bhasate. You understand? That is how we have to understand this phrase. Whenever you say, so the Upadhi is some entity whose dharma is seen elsewhere. Okay? So this is a limited Upadhi, and that limitation is seen upon this Atma. Antahkaranopathihi Angushthamatraha Angushtamatra Vamsha Parvamadhyam Baravat Purushaha. But the word Purushaha, Purnam Manena Sarvam. So it's one of the Vyutpatti. Madhye Atmani Sharire Tishtati Yahatam Atmanam Ishanam Bhutabhavyasya Viditva. Understand? It is this Atman which is seen to be limited by you is Ishanam Bhutabhavyasya. Bhutabhavyasya Ishanam. So we will see more detailed explanation of this Bhutabhavya Ishanam in the next class. Okay. Ishanam Bhutabhavyasya Viditva Natataha Ityadi Purvavat. So this, I think we will stop here and then take up the next verse in the next class. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhanaktu Sahavirjam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhi Tamastu Mavidvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve Pisakina Santu, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Paschid Dukha Bhakvet. Om.